what's going on YouTube? It's Donnie B all day. So, my Spyderco Resilience. It's resilient, but it's still human. I have been a bad knife daddy with this, and because I use it a lot, this is a really good knife. I didn't clean it up really good the last time I used it, and I have some oxidation on it. So, today we're going to fix that. We're going to fix oxidation. I want to show you how. I have 3 different grits right here. I have a 400 grit, I have a 2000 grit, and a 3000 grit. So we're going to start with this 400, and we're going to use water. We're just going to go over. Now what you want to do is look for, in your knife, you can see the way they polished it. Sometimes you'll be able to see if it goes, the lines go this way or this way. It looks like they polished it this way, so that's the way I'm going to do it. And I'm going to try to not erase the little spider on it. But if it happens, it happens, because that's not the main goal. The main goal is to get off that. And then what I might do, depending, is I might do a little color, but I'm not sure. So let's first work on this oxidation. All right, so the first thing I'm doing is I'm just wetting my paper. All right, I want to get a nice wet sandpaper, and I used this one already, so I'm just getting off any debris that was on there. And then I'm going to take my blade, put it right under the water. I know it's oxidized. Why would you wet it? Because you have to. So now I'm just going to really lightly, I have 2 fingers on it. If you have a block, you can use a block. But I have 2 fingers, and what I want to do is just get off these big areas of oxidation, right? And what it's going to do, especially if you go nice and even all the way through, it's going to give you this really cool look. Kind of like a, what do you call it, like a sandblasted look or denim look. It's going to give you that. Now, if you don't trust yourself, use your other hand and keep yourself away from the edge. I happen to trust myself, so I'm not worried about, no, I'm kidding. I'm not worried about the whole cutting of the hand thing. So remember that if your knuckles are bent this way, you don't jab them into the edge while you do that, or you will cut open your knuckles, especially on a Spyderco like this, because it is super sharp. So here we go. I got my 2 fingers. So far my spider is still on there, so that's cool. And I will show you what it looks like in just a second. Now I'm going to go to 1 finger right here, because I want to get along the edge. And what this is going to help do is hone the edge, as a matter of fact. If you do it right, you hit the right angle. But there we go. So now my Spyderco, you see this side is oxidized still, right? All right, but this side, let me see if I can get you into some light here. So, caca side, pretty side, right? So now if you want, you can leave it like this. You don't have to polish it any further. That looks pretty good. But what I want to do is make it just a little bit better. So right now I'm just going to do the caca side. So hold on. All right, so this is what it looks like after passing the 400, right? All the oxidation is gone. It was really, really simple. So now what we're going to do is we're going to up the grain, all right? Up the grit, not the grain. I'm smart. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to this finer paper, this 2000, and let me get that all nice and wet. And now we're just going to do the same exact thing. I'm just going to go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And I'm just going to keep going until I get a nice shine on it that was better than it just was. And it won't take long. Once you get the hard stuff off, doing something like this doesn't take that long. You just want to get a nice, even flow on it, right? You just want to make it nice and even, and I'll tell you, it only took that long. And I will show you the difference. So this is the side that I didn't do yet. You can see it's really, really, really nice, right? It's nice and uniform satin. That's just a little bit less satin, right? Just a little bit. So now I'm going to, like before, do the other side, and then we'll go to the finer grit. All right, so Now with the knife looking really nice, I mean, it almost looks brand new at this point, I'm going to go to the 3000. And once again, I'm going to wet my 3000. And we are going to just give it a final polish with the 3000. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to press a little bit harder with the 3000 and really try and just make this thing nice and shiny. And so far, it's looking really good. I mean, this is, from what it was just a minute ago, it's pretty much new looking. And I am cool with that because it looks fantastic. Now the blade shape itself and this knife, between a lot of the Spydercos that have this style, that weird looking mouse style, I think they're ugly as sin. But just because the shape is ugly doesn't mean your finish has to be. So I'm just going to make this as nice as possible for what it is. And I think that this is looking pretty darn good, honestly. Pretty darn good. You'll notice some black, right? While you do that, as you're man, that looks good. As you're doing it, you're going to notice like black coming off, and that's a good thing. That means you're taking off a lot of that outer steel coating of garbage. Look at this. Look at this. Now you can get even finer grits, or you can just keep going and make it even better. But that looks really freaking good. Remember, it was oxidized when we started. So I want to try one more thing. So I know I just made it nice and shiny, and you think, okay, that's what he wanted, was a really nice and shiny blade. I really just wanted the oxidation gone, so I don't really care if it's nice and shiny. So what I want to do is I want to see if I can make it really cool and rustic looking. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take out some super glue, and we're going to see if we can just add a little something to it. See if this will give a nice stain. And what it'll do is, if it does add a little stain, if it works, then not only will it give it a rustic look, but it'll actually help prevent further oxidations. So I don't know if this is going to do it. I'm hoping it even just goes a little bit, because normally what it does is like blackens a blade. But when you don't have a high carbon content, it doesn't usually take, but sometimes it'll just give it a little bit of different look. I should probably put on some light here. Let's see. I don't know if this is going to change it at all, but it looks like, all right, so this is the side I didn't do. That's the side I did do. Now it's kind of hard to tell. I can see it with my naked eye. My eyes are naked. But it almost fills in those lines with a little bit of darkness. And that's exactly what I wanted, was just that dark. Look at that. See that? That looks really badass. So it's looking pretty good. So it doesn't have enough carbon in it to give it some really cool worn black look, but even just having it in there should help protect the steel a little bit. As long as you could see it a little on your knife, that means it took a little. So I'm hoping it'll take, and it'll help keep my knife nice. If it doesn't, I'll just clean it again. You know what I mean? It's just that easy. But, you know, look at that. That looks pretty nice. That looks pretty nice indeed. Right? So you go from an oxidized blade to a really nice blade in no time at all. And you have a knife that was looking like it was on its last leg to looking like it might have just come out of it might have just come out of the package. So that is not bad right there. And if you're wondering if you have some knives and you got some oxidation on them, you're trying to figure out how to cure that, this is how you cure it. You just get really fine grit sandpaper, you wet it, and you go back and forth really even. Don't go circles. Don't go this way and then, oh, I got to get that little speck right there. Nope, just leave that speck alone. Try to get as much as you can. If you have to, get, like, let's say you have oxidation somewhere on the edge over here, and you can't go get it going this way, then you take it just the edge and you go along the edge only, because you don't want all those crosshairs, because then it's going to start looking pretty bad, and those are hard to get out. But right here, that right there is victory. So that's it, man. That was a pretty easy one, nice and short, 10-minute video. All right, so that's it. Now you guys know how to do it. Looks good. Try it yourselves. It'll work, I guarantee it. If you have a carbon blade, then you can add the bluing, and the bluing will darken it, and it will look really cool, and it will help protect it. Stainless blades, a little bit less. All right, so that's it for this one. Hi, I'm Donnie B all day. Until next knife.